morning and welcome. Happy Friday, Patriot Radio News Hour. I'm Joe Jaquint, CEO of the Patriot Trading Group, and it's the best day of the week. We've made it to another Friday. You know, maybe not as much as it used to be, right? Because less and less people get that 9 to 5 Monday through Friday thing. But for those of us that are, well, the fewer and fewer of us, but those that do, happy Friday. We've made it through another week, and what a week. Wow. GDP was out. It was okay. I don't want to say disappointing. It was okay. We'll break it down. I'm going to tell you right now, gold did a huge U-turn, just like I thought it would. Remember, yes, I told you there was record shorts in gold. That's how do you get something to be undervalued, right? Well, you essentially go in and get all your banker friends to short the you-know-what out of it to hold it down, because that way you can stress upon your real good narrative that when you actually look at the data, it doesn't hold water. It just doesn't. Sorry. I want it to be different, but it's not. GDP, it came in at 4.1. There were some caveats that helped it get there. The biggest one, which made me laugh, was soybeans. Yeah, who knew, right? Who knew how important soybeans? But apparently, we can grow soybeans like nobody's business. Of course, that's the big trade war. Everybody tried to beat the soybean tariffs. So soybeans alone, just soybeans, nothing else, just soybeans, added several tenths to GDP because it lowered the trade deficit because they wanted to get it in before the Chinese. You know, they're not dumb. The Chinese are like, hey, before we pay an extra 25%, let's just get it all in here. Otherwise, without the soybean deal, the GDP wouldn't have even been 4. Here's what's unfortunate about it. That just means, and remember, I've been telling you, this is going to be the high water mark. I was really hoping, I wanted to believe the morons on TV, because deep down inside, they all thought we were going to get a number near 5. They did. I didn't. But then again, I was still hoping this number would be higher because if this is high water mark, this right now as it stands, I don't think we'll see 3% in the fourth quarter. We'll have to wait and see, but nonetheless, that was the data that was out. What does it all mean? We're going to break it down. By the way, GDP was not the important number today. I know that everybody wants you to think it was. It wasn't. I'll tell you what it is. This is why you listen here. And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now. You better wake up and start supporting where you're getting these messages, or it's not going to be around much longer. We're going to talk about that today, too. How far is the mainstream, what I'll call the liberal media, going to ensure messages like mine never get out? Stations like the American Freedom Network won't survive. We're going to talk all about it. 800-951-0592. That's the number you call to support this program, right? You put some wealth insurance away, because I'm going to tell you right now, and you know it, you're going to need it. Because the deficits are blowing up, and blowing out, and you can't grow out of the problem no matter how much these people out there think you can. Just can't do it. And well, part of the reason why we can't grow any faster is because everybody's saddled with debt. The website at allamericangold.com, allamericangold.com, to keep you in the know for really most of the stuff on the website we don't talk about on the air. So make sure you go out there. There's all the information you're going to need. We're going to have Glenn and Jason on. We're going to do a Fake News Friday, and we're going to try to expand upon that a great way, a little laughter, a little levity to educate you all. And then we're going to talk about what has Google, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, what have they been up to, and who are they going after, and what is the end game? And I think all of you know it. Really, the big control and power of the few trying to dictate to the rest of us, probably more now than ever before. My uncle always used to, hey, you got to put it back where you found it. If you don't start doing it, you're not going to be, these places won't be around for you to be able to find it. I'm actually going to defend somebody today I never thought I would. Talking about Alex Jones, who's been banned by YouTube and now banned by Facebook today. He's a guy who, like I said, I say it a million times, I never use him as a source ever. But a lot of the stuff, the part that gets me is a lot of the stuff he says is fact. It's truth. Yeah, and there's some that isn't. That's the part I don't like. But he doesn't stretch the truth any more than CNN does, right? If you're going to ban Alex Jones, you got to ban CNN. But they're coming after us. Our way of life is under attack. And now more than ever, you need to start paying attention. We're going to cover all of that. We're going to do a great fake news Friday, and then I'm going to give you what was the most important piece of data that came out today and what it means for growth and where the country is headed, not just in the second half of this year, but where it's headed here over the next 5 to 10 years. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. And also, speaking of people attacking, up until a few days ago, Ron Paul was linked to white supremacists, on Wikipedia. Why? Because some liberal think tank put it in there. Patriot Radio News Hour. We'll be back right after the break. 800-951-0592. Gold and silver both higher today. They didn't start that way. I think Jason and Glenn, we got you guys on?
I'm on.
Okay, good.
Go. I'm on.
Jason with us? Jason, hello.
Oh, hello. I can barely hear you.
Okay, all right. Well, it's live radio. We got three guys in three different states, so we'll see how this goes. Gold and silver both higher today. They're both trying to get taken to the woodshed this morning. Then they got the GDP number, which was quite a bit less. It was still over 4, but not really what they were hoping for. We'll get to that. But it's a little fake news Friday, and then Jason and Glenn, I want you to stay on. We're going to talk about what's been going on very, very I'll say subversively and now in our face when it comes to what messages you are allowed to hear and which ones you aren't allowed to hear. But Glenn, let's get going with Fake News Friday.
Okay, fake news detector. 3 stories ripped from the headlines. 2 are legitimate, 1 is fake. And your mission is to determine which one is fake. Can you guys hear me okay?
I got you.
I can hear you good, Glenn. All right. Great. Adjust your tinfoil hats and no flip phones. All right. Story 1. An employee of the California DMV cost taxpayers more than $40,000 over 4 years by sleeping on the job. The employee slept 3 hours a day between 2014 and 2017. An estimated 2,200 hours of missed work. That's story 1. Story 2. Senator Elizabeth Warren is floating the idea of a 50 to 90% tax on high-income earners and the elimination of the Trump tax cuts if Democrats take control of Congress at the 2018 midterms. That's story 2. Story 3. A bomb exploded outside of the U.S. Embassy in Beijing yesterday. Forensic investigators tied the bomb components to a personal communications factory, and a disgruntled low-paid factory worker has claimed responsibility for the attack. All right, so which story is fake? Story 1, California DMV. Story 2, Elizabeth Warren and tax cuts, or tax increases, actually. And then story 3, the bomb explosion in Beijing. Double. What do you think?
Well, wow, that's a tough one. All of those got truth in it, right? Because I know there was an explosion at the U.S. Embassy in Beijing. I know the DMV story, right? Because, government workers, that doesn't surprise anybody. The fact that they let that person sleep for that many years, she's probably got a case like, hey, you can't fire me now. You've been letting me do it forever. And Elizabeth Warren, of course, she wants to tax the you-know-what out of everybody. But I'm going to say this, on a technicality, I'm going to go with Elizabeth Warren because I don't know if it's 50%, I believe. It's the 90% that I'm going to use. I don't know. I'm going to go B, Elizabeth Warren.
Okay, Joe, for story 2. Jason, what do you think?
I think it's story number 3. I think the third one is the fake one. I think there's something wrong, something non-factual about that third story.
Okay, and Ramon, what do you think?
Well, actually, being from California and actually being in line at the DMV, they've been asleep for much longer times. I've actually talked to them while they're sleeping, so I'm gonna go with number 1.
Number 1. Okay. All right. So we were all across the board here. Okay. All right. Story number 1 is actually a true story. Okay.
I knew it.
Actually happened, and she's still on the payroll.
The fake one, Ramon, not the real one.
Oh, you see, I'm so confused. You said there were 3 people in 3 different states. Now, is that state of mind or actual states of where they're living? Because I totally got confused.
Okay. So story 1 is true. Okay. And story number 2 is actually true as well. She's definitely for 50%, but she floated all the way up to 90% if she got her way. So that's kind of scary. So story 3 is the actual fake story. The bomb did explode, but I added all the other stuff in there about the bomb components directed to a communications factory. Hey,
so it wasn't a disgruntled Chinese worker.
No, it would be a great story if it was, though. Like, I wanted to say the name of the company, but I didn't want us to get sued, so I didn't say anything.
Want to do
you
that.
All know. Yeah. But you know who I'm talking about there, no doubt. Okay, so all right, so good job on that one. All right, round two. Story 1. They get better as we go. Trust me. All right, story 1. The city of Portland, Oregon, after cleaning up a makeshift camp of anti-ICE protesters, has declared the site a biohazard area due to needles, human waste, and trash. That's story 1. Story 2, the Obama administration provided $200,000 of funding to a known al-Qaeda affiliate in Sudan a decade after the Treasury Department designated it a terrorist funding organization, and a follow-on grant of $115,000 was released even after learning it was designated a terrorist organization. And then story number 3. The Dallas Cowboys owner, Jerry Jones, on Wednesday said the team's players will be allowed to take a knee or kneel during the national anthem. All right, Joe, what do you think?
I'm going to go, you know what, that's a tough one, but I'm going to go with number 3, and only for one reason. I actually have no idea, because, as I said, I'm not going to watch football if this is what we're going to do. I'm not going to do it. If you're going to disrespect America, and really, quite honestly, let's face it, there's so many things these pro athletes could be doing that would be constructive, and taking a knee just isn't one of them. So I'm hoping that Jerry Jones said the opposite, but I have no idea. Just a guess.
All right. Jason, what do you think?
I think it's story number 3 because I think the NFL as a whole, I thought I heard a story that all protests are to be held in the locker room. I guess Jerry Jones could break the rules and pay the fines, so that could be a true story, but I'm thinking number 3 is the fake story.
Okay, Ramon, remember, we're looking for the fake story, Ramon.
Now I've got it, but I'm going to say number 3 as well. I believe that's okay. The fake story, yeah.
Well, gentlemen, you're all 3 correct. That is the fake story. Come on, this is America's team. We can't have them taking knees.
By the way,
that's absolutely right.
I hate the Cowboys. Just so people know, truly, I will never root for that team. Well, I shouldn't say never, but I just can't imagine me ever rooting for the Cowboys. But I'm glad to hear it. Okay,
but how messed up is it that the other 2 stories are true? Portland, Oregon declares a biohazard area, and then Obama administration gives $315,000 to a terrorist organization. Unbelievable.
Speaking of Oregon, the 2 conservatives that actually live in Oregon are both customers of ours because there's only 2 of them. So, yeah, I'm not surprised. And, of course, all of that blowing up in people's faces. Just ask the residents of San Francisco how they like what's happening there. But I guess Jason was the big winner on real or fake. Congratulations to Jason. You win absolutely nothing. for playing, but I think this is going to be something. We'll try to do this every Friday, a little fake news Friday, because it is amazing. Like Glenn said, can you believe what's true in all of these stories? But I got to go to something, and I know what I was going to talk about GDP and do all this stuff, but I got to go to what's really been on my mind. Listen, we're under attack. And the Federal Reserve, they attack our wallet. The federal government and our state and local governments, they attack our wallets, right, through taxes and horrible legislation and all of those things. And more importantly, though, the way the word and the message gets out, and we've talked about this for years, how, and really slowly, it started off slowly in the 80s, picked up steam in the 90s, and now the mass media, like there's just a handful of companies that own everything, right? They own all the media outlets. I told you the story about my brother. His company, they're in 97 of the 200 largest TV markets, and they're not done. I just talked to him yesterday. He was actually in Chicago yesterday, because his company was having a big event. They were on the rooftop of Wrigley Field there, and he was telling me, they're trying to put some more deals together and essentially be in every market. But this is what's happening, and now we're starting to see some of these, especially I guess I'll call them, I don't know, the fake news, whatever you want to call it. I'm sure Facebook has a word for what they're doing, but they're banning news. Twitter, they'll ban you, or what they'll do is they'll partially block you. I don't know if you heard this, where they'll only, if they don't like what you're tweeting on Twitter, they'll only show it to the people that are following you and not allow anybody else to see your messages and things of that nature. But over the last 24 hours, both YouTube and Facebook have suspended Alex Jones. And Jason can tell you this. Me and Jason have had lots of talks about this. I don't like Alex Jones. I don't. Right, Jason?
Oh, yeah. You're on a different path and have a different feel about what you want to represent on your show. So you and Alex Jones kind of fight the same fight, but through a different kind of way.
We do it differently. Yes, there are parallels, but we do it differently. Some of the stuff he says and talks about, it's over the line for me. And again, I'm big on accurate information, but they banned him for violating community guidelines. Yeah. Who sets these guidelines? What community guidelines? I mean, think about it. InfoWars has been around for like 20 years. Right? No one had a problem with it. Now all of a sudden today we got to ban them. The Facebook spokesman confirmed in an email that the social network has enforced a 30-day timeout. Right? We're children now. You're going to go into timeout for having violated Facebook's community standard. Our community standards make it clear that we prohibit contact that encourages physical harm. The Maxine Waters should be banned. She's not, right? Or attacks on someone based on religious affiliation or gender identity, according to the Facebook spokesperson. Well, that's pretty much. Should anybody be allowed on Facebook based on that?
Yeah, I think you make a really good case for why the people that are in power want to silence the voice, things that we talk about on our shows. I mean, just as in my own personal situation, I was selling some coins a couple years ago that were anti-banker, and it's funny, during the election I had this is on Craigslist, and there were people, bashing Hillary Clinton on certain things on Craigslist, and then there were people bashing Trump, and here I am just selling this, anti-Federal Reserve System thing, and Craigslist knocked my listing off over and over again. They did not want me selling those coins, and I think the way that these media sites are trying to knock off certain opinions. I just think the Internet's a great way to connect the dots. Alex Jones connects a whole lot of dots, and they don't want that out there.
And I'm going to tell you right now, you start thinking about, especially like the rebirth, if you will, of KHNC and Jason and Brian having a huge impact up there, and we've got new programming coming. We got Rod, our first new advertiser, and we're doing a huge event over in Johnstown on August the 18th. Well, I guess at Rod's place, at Grandpa's Gun and Pawn, and already Rod's talking about it. He can't believe the support that he's gotten from the KHNC listeners, all these new people coming in. You guys, we got to put it back where you found it, because if we don't, we're not going to be here much longer. I mean, you think about it, right? I'm on Facebook. We don't, we post our show. We don't do a lot of tweeting or things of that nature, but we have those platforms. We have YouTube, we have Facebook, we have Twitter. It's a way to get the show out there.
This is the Phyllis Schlafly Report, a daily broadcast from Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, and we're upholding the legacy of Phyllis Schlafly, grassroots activist, author of 27 books, and articulate voice for traditional values for more than 70 years. Now, here's the president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles, Ed Martin.
Identity politics relies on the idea of separating people into groups based on demographics like skin color, sex, or nationality. Democrats use identity politics all the time when they claim to have the African American vote or when they claim to be a leader on women's issues. The problem with using identity politics is that it can easily backfire in your agenda. That is exactly the problem Democrats are having with their gun control narrative. While they claim to be champions of women and minorities living in poor neighborhoods, those are the very people most hurt by gun control. Consider the recent case of a young black man living in Memphis who came home to find two men breaking into his home. Immediately, the two assailants pulled out guns and began to shoot at the homeowner. Thankfully, the homeowner had a firearm of his own, and he managed to take down both of the intruders. These kinds of criminals are not uncommon in that neighborhood. Just last year, someone else shot at this man's home. When asked by a reporter about why he owned a firearm, the man said matter-of-factly, "I mean, we're in Memphis. You're going to need a gun." Without a doubt, those living in poor neighborhoods are disproportionately hurt when guns are kept out of the hands of law-abiding citizens. These neighborhoods are under-policed and over-criminalized. Citizens have no recourse but to keep the means to defend themselves. When Democrats take away these guns, the people are left without a means to defend themselves and their families. Rich Democrat fat cats in wealthy neighborhoods don't need guns. Minorities in impoverished neighborhoods often do. Women are also left vulnerable by Democrat anti-gun policies. It is a simple biological fact that women have less upper body strength than men. Guns, which are often called the great equalizer, literally give women a fighting chance against criminals. No matter how you slice it, Democrats' identity politics backfire every time they try to apply them to the gun debate. The best position for women and minorities is to stand with the Second Amendment. It seems Republicans get this, but Democrats don't.
This has been the Phyllis Schlafly Report with Ed Martin, president of Phyllis Schlafly Eagles. It's time to hear the truth, not the media lies, about gun rights. At phyllisschlafly.com, we've got strategies to protect American citizens, protect ourselves, and protect the Second Amendment. For the latest on the constitutionally protected right to bear arms, go to phyllisschlafly.com. Thanks for listening, and join us again for the Phyllis Schlafly Report.
Welcome back, 800-951-0592. That is our toll-free number. And really, trying to get everybody out there, you got to understand. We either stand up and we protect what is important to us, or they're going to take it away. I mean, they operate, and here's the funny thing, at least for YouTube, I don't know about Facebook, but you get a 3-strike policy, right? And I know this is strike 2 for Alex Jones. Strike 3, you can never use it again, I guess. And here's what was so funny is he played a video clip. What they didn't like, you remember the clip? It was that uncontrolled, and I'll call him a teacher. I don't know how old the kid was. It was in a parking lot, and this kid was punching this guy. And the kid's mom was standing there, and eventually the guy just kind of shoved the kid on the ground. Do you remember that video? Glenn, do you remember that video? You know what I'm talking about?
I do, and I've seen that just separately on Facebook, not from Alex Jones. So I hope they went after the other people as well that posted it.
Well, you know what's so funny is I found out that ABC originally aired it. I don't see them banned, right? But of course they banned Alex Jones. Wikipedia had for 3 weeks Ron Paul listed as an American white supremacist. Are you kidding me? Right?
Oh,
for
man.
3 weeks. Somebody put it in there, and they said, yep, sure is. The California Republican Party, right? So they, again, Wikipedia had them listed as Nazis. That was part of their platform. And this is happening everywhere. And it's only, listen, again, I'd be fine. You know what? If they banned Alex Jones and they banned CNN and they banned Maxine, well, okay. Right? But that's not what's happening. What are they doing? They're only banning the messages that they don't like. Right? And again, trying to prevent free speech is really what they're trying to do.
It would kind of take YouTube back to the days of just cat videos.
Right. Let's face it, still today, I think that's still probably what the number one watch thing on YouTube is stupid pet tricks or something like that. I mean, I don't know, but I just, it's one of those things where you need to support the people that are providing it to you, because if you don't, they won't be there. I know Jason's been talking on our second hour up in Johnstown. Right, we're looking for a few more new advertisers. It's time. Listen, huge things are coming to KHNC, and I know Jason and Brian have been the driving force behind those changes. And if you're and really, you know what? Ask Rod. He'll tell you how great it's been. We're going to make sure you have a lot of success, and it's going to allow all of the great messages to keep being heard out there. So if you're interested, and I know this, Jason, you're offering some great deals, aren't you?
Yeah, we want to get the next guy in behind Rod with the same great deal. You'll get to come on the air and talk about your business. You'll get to be live on the air. The next couple, we think maybe up to the third and fourth guys, we're going to give you a good deal to get your advertising on the air. Once we start getting these advertisers flowing through, then we're going to start charging the market rate. You're going to have to spend what a normal advertiser should spend. So,
and a lot of great things are coming down the pipe. We are. I don't want to put it in the next 2 to 4 weeks. Great things are going to be happening at the station there. So get in on the ground floor. Just call us here. Call us at Patriot, and we'll get you to Jason, and we'll get it all set up at 800-951-0592. And Glenn, you live in Maryland, and you actually bought a gun from Rod, right?
I did. I've been on the show twice now with Rod, and Rod pretty much gets the whole hour to talk about his business, which is a pretty cool thing. And so Rod and I were talking about the Second Amendment the other day, and the first show, I'm like, after I called him, I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a certain type of gun, and he found one for me, and his staff sent me pictures of it. It turned out to be exactly what I wanted, so I went ahead and did the deal with him. I sent him a federal firearms license, and then he'll ship the gun to my firearms dealer. I'll do the background check, and we're good to go. You know, that dispels the whole gun show loophole idea that these liberals have. So it's all legit, done by the book, and, you know, we're helping him out. He's helping me out. You know, I'm part of Patriot, but I still buy gold and silver from you guys because, you know, I want to support the company, and I'm getting a good deal. So I love it.
And that's really super important. So for those of you that don't know who we're talking about, Rod is, he's what? The second largest gun dealer in Colorado. Is that right, Jason?
Yeah. when they get the authorities checking in, doing their checks, they said they have to do their annual checks there because they're such a high volume dealer. They're number 2 in volume. They just sell those guns.
So there's all these opportunities to come out and support, and obviously we need your support as well. Yesterday we ran 2018 Silver Eagles at 375. Silver's actually up again today. And I said I was only going to do it for one day, but I got so fired up about the Ron Paul and the Alex Jones. This is going to be something you want to support us. Here it is, 2018 Silver Eagles, $375. I'm going to do it for the rest of today at 800-951-0592. Colorado. I know, Jason, do you still have dimes and quarters? You still got some up there?
Yeah, we're starting to get through them, but there's enough here on premises. If you want to buy dimes at $65 a roll, or if you want to buy quarters at $130 a roll, you get your order in, and come on in. I'll have you in early next week, right away. Just pick it up and then get it while it's here.
800-951-0592. You need to start taking it serious. Put it back where you found it, because let me tell you right now, if the liberal media has their way, messages, whether it be Ron Paul, whether it be Alex Jones, whether it be Patriot Trading Group, they're going to try to stifle those messages. Don't let it happen. 800-951-0592. Glenn, Jason, thank you so much for joining us. I appreciate it so much. When we get back after the break, I'm going to tell you that GDP was not the most important number that came out today. And what does that mean for the rest of 2018 going into 2019? Where is the United States headed? Is this the high water mark? Is this can GDP go higher? Or really are we looking at something completely different? So we'll break all of that down for you. And, of course, I'll go a little bit in depth on the GDP number. If you're joining us late, GDP came in at the lower end, 4.1%. It was above 4, thankfully. 800-951-0592. U.S. Silver Eagles, 375. These are going to be 2018s. Put it back where you found it. 800-951-0592. On the gold side, tell you what I'll do on gold. Because right now the deals out there, they're not great. Remember, same thing that's happening in silver is happening in gold. All this oversupply seemingly has vanished, right? Gold gets all the way down to 12.10 and boom, just like we thought this is what they do. And then they buy it all out from under all of us. I'll tell you what I'll do. U.S. $20 Liberties or Saints. I'll let you pick either or. It's your choice. They're $1,300. I'll take $20 off. Just in I guess, solidarity, if you will, with Ron Paul and Alex Jones. Libs or Saints, $20 Liberties or Saints, $1,280. And if I was you, I would definitely throw a roll or two of Silver Eagles in there with that if you're looking to do the gold side. 800-951-0592. So we talked GDP came in 4.1. There was a $50 billion credit, if you will, helping GDP on the trade deficit, which went down $50 billion in the second quarter, pretty much all of it having to do with soybeans. Without the soybeans, we wouldn't have even gotten to 4. Still would have been a better. Now, listen, I'm okay with higher growth. The problem was I'm not okay with increasing the federal deficit by $300 billion to get, really, when you think about it, inflation went up at least, even by the crappy way the Fed does it, 0.5% from the first quarter to the second quarter. That's fact. Of course, it went up more than that, but using that, right? So 0.5% was inflation, right? A couple more tenths was soybeans. I mean, again, I don't want to be negative, but you got to be factual. And when you look inside, it wasn't the greatest. And this is kind of why you saw, listen, gold was down to $12.15, $12.13 this morning. It's already back to $12.26, $12.27 because they know. And growth for the third and fourth quarter already now the people are, and I don't know, it's too early to tell, but I've been hearing 3.1 for the third quarter, which will be lower than I want it to be. I'll tell you that right now. But here was the most important number of the day. And I poke fun at the survey stuff. I do, right? You know, and I'm like, people are just overly, especially all of us Trump lovers, we're overly optimistic. A big change came in July, and it had to do with three different things. Income, right? I got more money in my paycheck thing. All of a sudden now people are like, wait a minute, it's not happening, right? Or, I got more money, but yet I'm poor. Car buying, right? So these are questions that they ask. Do you plan on buying a car? Fell by the largest amount in decades. Matter of fact, I want to say the number went all the way back to 1997, the amount of people that thought they would be buying a car in the next 3 to 6 months. Also, not just that vehicle buying plans had the significant drop, but on top of that, buying a home also saw the biggest drop as well, another huge drop. They said consumers assessed the vehicle prices the worst since 1997, right? Saying, hey, listen, they want way too much for these cars. And then people were also complaining about high home prices. Matter of fact, they said that it's been the worst purchase pricing going back to the recession. So now two big drivers of GDP growth, all of a sudden, really, when you think about it, income's under pressure. Car prices look awfully expensive. Home prices look awfully expensive. It's going to be tough. And I've been saying it for a long time. I believe it. I do. The second half of 2018 is going to be very different than the first half. And you know what? Right now, I hope the Federal Reserve is paying attention. I don't think they are. I think they could raise rates and put us right into a recession a lot easier than most people think out there. And that was probably the most important piece of information that was out today, was the view not only of their own finances, but the view of car and home prices deteriorated. And I just look at these charts. They have these charts, and it's just, think about, when you get put on and they check your heart rate, and it's up and down, up and down, up and down. And this thing was a huge downswing in both of those categories, which kind of, we kind of saw that in the housing data, that the data that came out over the last few days, right? Home sales dropping significantly. Matter of fact, existing home sales now, it's been down 4 straight months in a row, and it doesn't look like it's going to get any better. It's going to be very hard to get more GDP growth when people feel prices are getting way ahead of themselves. Patriot Radio News Hour, final segment coming up. 800-951-0592. Still got 2 lines open. U.S. Silver Eagles at $375. $20 gold. You pick it. Liberties or St. Gaudens at $1,280. Gold's up $3, $12.26 and change. Silver, $15.50. Listen, they handed you a gift. Right? Gold, they've handed us $125 gift. Silver, it's a $2 an ounce gift. Listen, they beat it over the head for the last, 4 or 5 weeks, all in anticipation of this GDP report that was supposed to be 5%. Now, they didn't say 5. I know that, right? They didn't say 5. But I'm just telling you what they were, the whisper number. What actually came in, and it makes a lot of sense. The consumer spent way more money than they had. Business didn't do a thing. Business investment spending was garbage, especially for the tax breaks that the president gave them. It's embarrassing is what it was, and it's going to continue, right? But I told you this in the beginning. And now, all of a sudden, little by little, right? We don't want to believe it. I know I don't want to believe it either. I want to believe you got more money in your paycheck. You don't. And if you do, you need to spend it here. 800-951-0592. That is the toll-free number. Make sure you are supporting. Hey, you know what? All of you in Phoenix, you business owners in Phoenix, if you want to advertise with KXXT, call me. I'll give you Dave's number. Dave Herman's a great guy here in town. He's the only. I wish Wendy was here. She'll tell you. In the whole time I've been here, Eric and I are very much the same. Salesmen, no, right? They're not allowed. They don't get in the door. You can't get past Wendy or Arlene if you're calling on the phone. Dave's about the only salesman that I see. He does great work. He'll give you a great deal and put it back and support the stations that are supporting me and supporting this program. Colorado, where you at? Right, we're ready to go. Listen, I'm telling you, you're gonna be glad you did. If you want to advertise on KHNC, give me a call. I'll set you up with Jason. So many great things. We are closing in quickly there. Big changes are going to be coming. Here's the great thing: we're going to have big changes, but all the great programs that are on are going to still be there. They're going to be right where they're always been, but we're going to add programming around it. All kinds of great things that are coming there. We got a great event that we're doing with Rod on August the 18th. Make sure you show out for that as well. And I'm just super excited because and I'm excited for the opportunity, but at the same time, right, here's the bad part. This number today needed to be a lot better. Right now, the Dow's down over 100. The NASDAQ's down over 100, right? I mean, S&P's down 25 because you know what? They know. They know. Better get ready. Buckle up. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Have a great rest of your Friday. Please support us. Please support the stations we're on. And we'll be back on Monday.